I won't
Here.
fidget. No, I'm not going to fidget with it. I've noticed in the last one that I spent 40 minutes of the episode fidgeting with my pen.
Really?
Yeah, nobody wants to see that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 23 episode. Let me try that again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 23rd episode of Models and Movies.
Hi.
Okay. Today I have Nanda with me. Nanda, Fernanda?
Nanda. Nanda's good.
Nanda, do you want to tell people what your Instagram handle is in case somebody wants to look at you, or would you rather keep it private?
Almighty Nanda, even though it's a private account.
Oh.
But if you request.
If you're like super, super cool, maybe she'll check you out
Maybe.
and accept.
Maybe.
Maybe. I have known Nanda for 8-9 years. Long time, a really long time.
Maybe even close to a decade.
Maybe a tenner. Maybe we spent a dime knowing each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, we used to do stuff all the time, and then we sort of lost. We just didn't do stuff after a while. Now we're doing stuff again. Mm-hmm. Hey, thanks for coming and doing this episode.
Yeah.
And so we watched a movie today. That movie that we watched was a Serbian film. And it was probably the worst experience of your life. Make sure that next time you're babysitting somebody, you let them watch a Serbian film. We didn't watch a Serbian film. What did we watch today?
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That's right. We watched Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or sometimes known as Mortal Kombat 2. This is the sequel to Mortal Kombat, which I believe Mortal Kombat was made in 1995, and this is the sequel made in 1997. Before we get into the movie, though, we have to do beer of the show. Now I know you don't drink and drive, but you're gonna taste this beer, and that's all you got to do. So here we go. We've got the beers back here.
Yes.
Beer of the show today is Lagunitas, and it's called Super Cluster Ale. And there's a reason why I chose Super Cluster, and it's because they shoved so many characters into this film that it is a super clusterfuck.
I was wondering.
Super clusterfuck of storytelling and characters. I think it's supposed
Alcohol by volume 8%.
Oh, that is pretty heavy. Okay, well, maybe just one sip then. So
It's all good.
Lagunitas.
Lagunitas. Cheers.
Super Cluster.
Annihilation. I like it.
It actually tastes pretty good. Yeah, it tastes, for me, it tastes between an ale and an IPA because it's got a little bit of bitterness in it, but I think that's because of the extra alcohol in there. But I like it. It's okay. It's all right. Again, Lagunitas Super Cluster Ale. Pretty good. Not bad. Beer of the show. On to the review of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Now, I chose this film with you specifically. Why did I choose you specifically?
Because I am Melina.
We'll get to that in a minute. Hold on.
Because I'm a super fan nerd.
Yeah.
Of Mortal Kombat.
I forgot to mention that there was some pictures of you, and you thought this was a great movie.
As a kid, you know, it was the movie. It came out. So yeah, as a kid, I thought it was great.
As a kid, you played all the games.
It was a dream come true. The movie came out. It was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you play the Nintendo version of the game with the green blood?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1, yeah.
That was a weird thing because like Sega suddenly sold tons more than Nintendo, and the only reason is because Sega put red blood in their game of Mortal Kombat, and Nintendo, which was
forgot about that.
It was more family oriented. It had green blood, and it was just like, no, that's dumb. I'm getting the Sega. So that's where Sega started to overtake Nintendo in that first console war. All right, so Nanda, can you help me with the plot of Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Well, Shao Kahn has invaded Earthrealm.
Again.
He's broken the rules of the tournament.
Correct.
The humans have just won the tournament, and they are enjoying their victory. Very short-lived victory.
Yeah, so let's mention that this happens immediately, the next frame after Mortal Kombat, the movie ends.
Yeah.
Because if anybody remembers watching the original Mortal Kombat movie...
Which was really good.
It was better.
It was good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
It was so much better.
I will say, it was actually pretty good.
But
at the end of the actual Mortal Kombat movie, they're all happy, they're walking arm in arm, and all the red monks are happy, and the children, and they're playing that really great song from Orbital. I think it's Orbital, On and On and On.
It is. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. You remembered.
And then all of a sudden things get super dark, and then you see Shao Kahn in the skies saying,
"You weak, pathetic fools, I've come for your souls.
It's not over," or something like that.
And then Raiden says, "I don't think so."
That's right. And he goes,
and then dun 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 dun
That's when the music kicks
and the movie done. Movie finishes.
Movie done.
The first one.
Movie done.
Movie done.
Yeah. So
and then
this
Annihilation
movie
picks up.
literally picks up
right there
at that moment. So Shao Kahn comes to Earthrealm and kicks ass and. Then they escape.
He comes, he tears shit up.
Oh, but something happened, right?
What?
Well, what major thing happened in that very first scene?
Oh, Johnny Cage dies.
Yep, broke his neck, dead.
It's a no-no. He's a main character.
Main character, yeah.
He's a main character.
He beat Goro.
And then another thing, it's a different. Are we going to talk about them all being different? Cast
sure.
from the first one.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second, but
okay.
let's just do it like a general overview of what happens in this movie. So they escape the Shao Kahn attack, and then what happens? Balls?
And then, Raiden takes them under to so they can scope out what their next plan is.
Right.
And they get on these traveling balls.
Yep, traveling balls. They're little gerbil balls that they have to face to face. They're like super close to each other. And thank goodness Raiden didn't go with Liu Kang. That would have been awkward. But anyway, they split up boy girl, and they went in these hamster balls all over the planet, I guess.
I'm thinking.
Did it go inter-realm as well?
I'm not sure. I think they're like in the Earth. Okay.
So wait.
And that might take them.
Because they somehow got to Outworld, but then things were merging at that point. So
yeah.
So
and the person responsible for the merging is Shao Kahn.
Correct.
Because he's invading everything.
So this is what's happening. Shao Kahn decided that even though the humans won Mortal Kombat last movie, he's like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna merge the realms anyway and take over everything. So he has decided to go against what the Elder Gods would say. And is he working with an Elder God? We never really decided.
Shao Kahn?
Sorry. Shao Kahn's dad.
Shinnok.
We're not really sure if Shinnok was an Elder God or not.
He is.
In the story.
Mm-hmm. But he is a humanized one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not in his earthly form. Ooh, the wind.
Fair enough. So Shinnok.
But he's gone bad. He used to be good.
Did he?
Yeah, he was one of the good guys. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, he's one of the... I think.
Nanda's super into the whole mythology.
I'm just trying to figure it out, revisiting this.
By the way, did you play Mortal Kombat Mythologies?
That's Sub-Zero game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
That's like an RPG game, isn't it?
That's where Fuji is introduced.
Fuji?
The wind guy.
He wasn't in this movie.
And
which is weird because everybody else was.
He is, I believe, one of Raiden's relatives.
Of course he is. All right, so there's a bunch of fighting, and we meet every character who's ever been in a Mortal Kombat game ever. And let's get this plot happening. What's happening then?
So anyways, everything is going to shit.
Mm-hmm. The realms are merging.
Liu Kang and Kitana are off one way to try to find Nightwolf because Nightwolf is going to help Liu Kang with some new insight or something.
Because Liu Kang cannot defeat
at his current level,
he's Shao Kahn the way he is.
Too weak. He must go through this experience.
Correct.
Well, anyways, on the way to doing that, he loses Kitana. She's kidnapped by Scorpion. Who comes back to life.
Doesn't make any sense because Scorpion died
He
in
was
the first
thoroughly
movie.
killed by Johnny Cage in the first
killed.
movie. So there's that, you know.
He exploded in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And then, but while that's happening, Sonya and Jax are off on their other side.
Correct.
To find somebody.
Really, it's just to do something. We're not really sure.
They come across Cyrax.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when. Wait, let's continue. Okay.
So much happens in this movie.
So, anyways,
you can't really concentrate on any one thing.
Sonya and the Jax are off in the desert.
Right.
They come across several other characters.
There's some mud wrestling, and then
Raiden eventually comes back because he also gets. Oh yeah, Raiden. While Liu Kang and Kitana are doing their thing, Sonya and Jax are doing their thing.
Right.
Raiden is like, I gotta go tell the Elder Gods that this fuckery is happening because this is breaking the rules.
That's right, fuckery.
And he goes, and that's when
he.
They gave him like the human.
Yes. Then the Elder Gods. There's a bug flying around.
And he's
here.
like, I'm gonna join the tournament.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, you can. But you'll be like human.
And then what?
You will bleed red.
What Raiden didn't understand is that now that he's a human, he's weak and fragile, and he dies.
Like the fuck that.
Really quick. Raiden dies pretty quick. Pretty much the first time
knocked off.
Pretty much the first time he fights anyone, he dies because humans are fragile and weak, and he doesn't have his magical electrical powers anymore. So what are you gonna do? You die. That's what happens. So then Sindel happens to be Kitana's mother.
Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
And there's a whole nonsense about that. And Sindel
she's dead, and then she comes back.
Right. Sindel is having sex with Shao Kahn.
She's under his wing. He's like taking her as
That's
his queen.
implied, by the way. She's not really having sex with him. We just assumed she was.
Just assume.
Then Jade shows up, and she distracts him from Nightwolf, and
she is such a deceiving, deceptive little.
We'll get to the ending later, but let's. This plot is impossible to speak about.
It really is.
Without talking about.
How can you not give a side story?
Without talking about the characters. So, if I may, I would like to run down a list of the characters of this film. We have Shao Kahn, Raiden, Kitana, Liu Kang, Ermac, Shinnok, Sindel, Motaro, Rain, Johnny Cage, Shiva, Smoke, Scorpion, Sub-Zero's brother, Cyrax, Nightwolf, Jade, Milena, Noob Saibot, and Baraka. Those are just the playable characters in the Mortal Kombat games that are in this movie. But we also have the Elder Gods are a character, and then that's pretty much it, I guess.
And actually, in one of the games, you can.
You know who else was in it? But just as a flashback, was who was the big guy from the first one? Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung was actually in the movie, but just as a flashback because.
Yeah, which she was a great Shang Tsung.
He was, he was great.
Yeah.
So those are the characters of the film, and that's why
it's a bunch of them.
That's why Super Cluster was the beer. Because
that is excellent. I was trying to make the connection, and I couldn't.
Oh my goodness, they shoved so much stuff into this movie.
And unless you're a fan, how could you?
That's a good point. It's really just fan service to include all the characters that you have played over the last 3-4 games. All right, so how many returning actors came back for the second movie from the first?
2.
We
have Liu Kang.
Yep.
And Kitana.
Correct. So the people who didn't come back were Johnny Cage,
The list you
Johnny Cage, Raiden,
Jax
Jax
was different.
right, and obviously Sub-Zero, but he was kind of a different character as well. It wasn't because Sub-Zero literally died in the first movie, and then the girl
Sonya.
Sonya. Oh my gosh, I didn't even write Sonya down in this list.
And Sonya's a pretty huge character.
Yeah, Sonya had a lot more to
She's the main
do.
character, I mean.
She had a lot more to do in this movie than she did the first movie. Yeah, so nobody came back for this second movie.
Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert?
Christopher Lambert, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who was also the Highlander? Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So he was a pretty big name, and he just didn't.
And he was
feel
such a good Raiden.
He was. He just didn't feel like coming back. So yes.
They didn't pay him enough.
Well, you know, who dies in this movie? Certainly Johnny Cage dies.
Right away. It's a damn shame.
Shao Kahn dies.
Shao Kahn dies at the end.
Right. Raiden dies.
Comes back though.
But he comes back to life.
He comes back, and then because he's such a good guy, they grant him the ability to take Shinnok's place. So then he becomes Mist, and an elder god himself.
Well, that's the review, everybody. Thank you for watching. We got more. We'll talk about more.
There's so many more avenues.
So in the end battles, did all those bad people die? Like did Motaro and Noob Sabat and Rain, did they all die? Mm-hmm. Did they?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're all dead.
Sonya killed.
Melena's dead.
Mm-hmm. Got killed by Sonya.
Cyrax
So
died.
short. Cyrax. That was a pretty good match.
Baraka died.
Baraka did.
Sorta.
He did. It was so fast. That's why I couldn't even associate it if it was him or the other Barakas.
Yeah. So in the first movie, who actually died? So we had Kano died. Goro fell off the cliff and assumedly died.
Goro died. Johnny
And
Cage killed him. Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung died. Yeah. And who was the black guy that they all felt? Art. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck is Art?
Right?
Art is not a playable character in any
guy
that
we all
movie.
felt so much sympathy for.
Yeah, he was around. He was hanging out with the characters for a while, and then
Goro crushes him.
They were so upset that Art
Sonya
died.
was,
even after we watched like 20 other characters die because Goro threw him onto the round rocks. Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. We should have watched that one too.
Well, no, because I wouldn't have nearly as bad things to say about that movie as I do this movie.
Yeah.
So, okay, so characters. We're done with characters. There's too many characters to talk about.
We pretty much got. Oh, Nightwolf.
Nightwolf, yeah.
You didn't put him there.
I do. I have him right here. I said his name.
Okay.
Nightwolf was a great character. He was like the shaman character.
He was great.
Who was teaching Liu Kang
Pretty much took Liu Kang to a ayahuasca trip.
To test your courage and find your animality, you've got to put yourself in a dream state.
Yeah. Instead of giving him peyote and letting him bake in the sun, he hit him in the head with a tomahawk.
With his tomahawk, which is his move,
Yeah. So PG-13. Yeah, where he had a fever dream that he was gonna get with Jade, but she was actually there.
And then Katana's like, you betrayer or something.
I don't know what happened.
And then he gets the animality.
That's right, because
spirit brewing inside.
in Mortal Kombat 3, that's when the programmers put in these special finishing moves called animalities, where your character would turn into an animal and bite the head off of somebody.
You.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Annihilate, yeah. Annihilation.
Yeah.
All right, so
which is really cool. I missed animalities.
okay, screw the characters. We're done with the characters.
Okay.
Let's talk about the quality of the film. Nanda, what'd you think of the quality of this film? That's how I feel. Ugh.
And as a kid, watching it, hoping so, and then you see it, you see the Liu Kang going from one cliff to the next.
So
And
this was some of the worst green screen stuff
and
I've
you're just
ever
like,
seen
fuck.
in any major motion picture that was released at theaters. It's so bad.
You
Listen,
pointed out a lot of things that I didn't even
this
notice.
is a green screen behind us.
Maybe trained eye.
And yeah,
Bad.
if I move fast, you can see a little bit of blur and stuff like that. But holy crap, they didn't even bother to mask out the characters well, because you can literally see where. Okay, so there's two things that I noticed in this film. There's a part where you can see these clouds behind the characters, and you can see the two plates of clouds, one on top of the other, and there's a line in between them, and as they're spinning, you can literally see. It's just so sloppy and lazy.
I never noticed that before you said something.
There's another situation where during that same scene, you can almost see through the characters in a couple of places just because they were so sloppy and masking them out and stuff like that. So. Bad, bad, bad. So technically bad. And then they made some very questionable decisions on how they were going to show these animalities.
At that point in the movie, though, you accept it.
I think you're right.
I did. I did.
I think you're right, because you're just
'Cause
like,
I had a
you know what?
veil over me.
Giant hamster balls flying through
like,
the world.
Sure, why not?
Okay, whatever. I believe it. Cool. Baraka's head is like 2 sizes larger than it should be because of prosthetics. Cool. All right. Yeah, the CGI in this movie is atrocious. Mortal Kombat had some decent CGI. I mean, it was a few years before.
No, it was good.
I think what it was in Mortal Kombat, they used it sparingly. Like, they knew that it wasn't up to the task, so they
didn't need much for it.
Yeah, they didn't. So
only the reptile scene.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
And that's pretty much it. Like, when it was like, okay, that's real cheesy, and then that's it. Everything else was more organically made.
I think they knew it was a little cheesy, so they used it sparingly.
But this movie, they just fucking went all out.
The last 10 minutes of the film is CGI, and it's bad. And there's no getting around that. It's just bad. But again, this was 20 years ago, so we're going to give them this much pass. Figure out something else. Put men in suits, use stop motion animation, use puppets, use something that looks better than that CGI.
Or don't even do it as much.
So bad. Yeah, or don't do it.
They didn't even need to.
Or make it super dark or something. I don't know what it was.
They were pretty good with the fight scenes. They could have just done more of those. Versus that whole.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would you say that the fight choreography was better in this film than the first? Dark or something? I don't know what it was.
They were pretty good with the fight scenes. They could have just done more.
Better in this film than the first?
There was more variety in this film.
I agree with you. Yeah.
More variety, but.
And I think that made.
But the first had a little bit, but it was good and solid. I liked it. Liu Kang is a good dad.
Yeah.
And in this one.
I think the first one they had
variety.
much better camera work and cinematography that they could hide some of the shortcomings. This one had much better actors who could do the stunt work.
The Sonya was good.
Mm-hmm. So they didn't have to rely so much on clever camera work and stuff like that. But still, some of it was weird. Like, they knew that.
Well, you're not a fan of the kicks. The over the head. You think those are impossible.
Sonya was doing weird things with her legs where somebody was behind her and she kicked up her body like you would kick straight up. And somehow kicked the person behind her.
It's a kung fu move.
But her body's in the way. There's no way. It can't happen.
It would just be like a tap to the forehead.
Yeah, it would be like, what are you doing? I got
I
dirt,
don't think it would
dirt
be
on my head. What?
Knockout blow.
No, I don't think it would be. But visually, I mean, if you make the story up in your head, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was a thing. So visually, this film is an absolute mess. awful. Sound-wise, I thought it was okay. I mean, it's
Like
just,
the soundtrack or just...
yeah, well, both sound and music. So with my ears, this movie was much better in my ears than it was in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't stop looking at it and saying, ugh, that's awful. Don't do that. That's terrible. Yeah, so I'm giving this movie a solid C-. No, a D for visual presentation. Bad. Quality of the film. You love it because you love anything Mortal Kombat. No? You can see through it?
This, yeah, I can
Okay,
see through
good
it.
for you,
I
good
can
for
see
you.
through it with all of my heart, too.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Good. Very good. I know you punched your microphone. That's fine. Okay, so now we have to talk about the special effects because we kind of just did talk about the special effects because of the quality of the film. This movie just feels like
I just feel like they could have just done so much simpler stuff and it would have come out so much better. Like, just do it simple.
I'm gonna agree.
Simplify all of that and you will
Totally
have...
agree with you.
And it would be so cool because they have the characters. I mean,
Totally agree with you. I think they had this grand, huge idea for how they wanted this film to look, and they just didn't have the money or the time to make it happen. Also, a lot of writing issues too. Like a lot, the story was so very complicated and
yeah,
convoluted.
things just happen, and you're like, okay.
If you're gonna make a movie about Mortal Kombat, keep it simple. Keep it real simple.
They really didn't. They went.
They had so many interpersonal relationships going
Even
on.
as somebody who's seen it a million times,
Uh-huh.
I was like, what?
They spent
It's
a
happening.
large portion of the movie with this Jade character helping the team get to places where they needed to be.
Well, Jade has always been evil.
That in the
the
stories,
game.
in the video game, she has, yes.
She's a bad guy.
But you would think that, why would she bother spending all this time trying to get them to the place where they're ultimately going to be destroyed when she could destroy them any point along the way? Because, once you're accepted into the group, they got to sleep sometime. You just stab them in the head.
The
when
circle
you're
of
sleeping.
trust. She was there.
Circle of trust.
Liu Kang was like that.
Liu Kang was all into her.
Jade
for a
is
second.
like, hey, let's go over there. Your friends are in that corner. Liu Kang's like, all right. He's on it.
And then this whole thing about how they don't trust anybody anymore unless they're human, and then they're all looking at Raiden like, hello, Raiden's a god. Oh, but he's not a god anymore because he went to see the elder gods and he came back as more of a human. He got a haircut and everything.
Without Raiden, it's hopeless.
Never give up hope.
Is he like Samson? Is that where the power was? It was in his hair? I don't know.
I don't know.
So Nanda reminded me that the actor who plays Raiden in this movie plays the father in Dexter, which is really hard to see.
When I first saw Dexter, when I saw him, I was like, Raiden.
Immediately?
Immediately.
Wow, okay, because I cannot go
was like,
backwards.
"Oh, Raiden."
I can't know Dexter's father's character and then go to Raiden and say,
It took a
"Yeah,
while
that's totally
to see.
him."
It took a while to see Harry as Harry. It took a while for me to transition my mind to
No
not
kidding.
see him as Raiden.
Wow.
I know.
Dang, because I can't see him as Raiden at all. It takes
Oh, ooh, Thunder God.
Thunder Gods. Raiden's here.
That's it.
He's pissed.
We've awakened the wrath.
Angered Raiden.
Shit.
So yes, so we have basically just glossed over both the quality of the film and the special effects. They're crap.
Yeah, they're not
Crap.
very good.
Crap.
No, they could have just done something simple.
So
Avoided all that.
let's kind of finish out what happens in this movie. They eventually get to. So all the realms are merging. This was Shao Kahn's big plan. Actually, Kwai Chi? Shinnok. Who's Kwai Chi?
Quan Chi is.
Quan Chi.
We were talking about how Shinnok and Quan Chi were both introduced in Mortal Kombat 4, which is the
Quan Chi was not
which
in
is the
this film.
N64 game, and Quan Chi is in that game.
I thought
Quan Chi is a sorcerer.
was
He's a
was
soul
there no
gatherer.
Mortal Kombat 4 in the
It was
arcades?
Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3.
Then Ultimate.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat
Yes,
3.
which
And then
was the good one.
And then Mortal Kombat 4, yeah.
4 was in the
And
game
then
rooms.
N64 was Mortal
Okay.
Kombat 4. And then that's when you went to Xbox.
Yes, gotcha. Okay.
But then there was the Sub-Zero game that we were talking
Mythologies,
about.
yeah.
That game was so cool.
Was it?
I need to play it again.
I think
haven't
people
played-
were
maybe-
turned off because it was so different. It wasn't like a fighting game, like a
Yeah.
one-on-one fighting game.
But I
It was
liked
a-
it, the
like an
storyline.
RPG type game.
It was cool.
Yeah, I think for people who might want a story with their Mortal Kombat, that might.
Well, after that, they have story mode in all the games.
Yeah.
So they kind of made
got
way
smart.
for it.
They were like, okay, let's take all the cool parts from Mythologies and stick it back into our one-on-one fighting games.
It really worked out.
Yeah, it makes
It was
sense.
a cool game to play as Sub-Zero.
How did that work, by the way? So there was 4, then Mythologies. What was after that?
Then it
Because
was...
somehow they got to X. But
Oh.
9. They had a 9.
They had the other one.
The other one.
Yeah, there was...
They had a
X
9.
was way advanced.
Oh, yeah.
We're going back like a few games.
X
because
only
because
came
they
out
even
in
had
2016,
they had a Mortal
I think.
Kombat game that you can play as
15.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, that was
They've
X.
had, like-
That was X.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
And they're gonna have some crazy characters in 11 again. But
they did.
I know they had a 9. I don't know if they had an 8 though. I can't remember.
I should have brought my stack of games. I just have them. I just don't really don't even know.
Okay, and so Jade eventually turns on them. Katana got kidnapped.
By a scorpion that we never see again. By the
Scorpion
way,
never comes back.
we don't
You're
see him
right.
again,
You're
right?
right. Scorpion only exists to kidnap Katana and take her back to Outworld.
What
That doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean it makes me question myself. Like,
He's
was
a
that even
major
Scorpion?
character.
Yeah, and he
Ah.
puts her in the cage,
Yeah, nobody puts baby in a cage.
hovering over the dragon there, and
Right.
Barakas are circling over
Was
her
that
little
the
bird
same
cage.
thing that Shao Kahn smashed and then that stuff came
I think
up
so.
out of that?
I think that's the throne room.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they
Is that
lowered
the
her.
same
They
throne
lowered
room
her up
from
or
the
down.
first movie?
The what?
That's not the same throne room
No,
from
the first movie was really cool because they had
that
two
all
levels.
happened on Earthrealm, right? There was no Outworld or Nether Realm in the first movie.
In the first realm, there was Outworld and Earthrealm.
There was.
Yeah, at the very end. Remember?
went to Outworld?
At the end, when Reptile kidnaps Sonya,
Everybody's kidnapping everybody.
and he takes her in the
Wait,
portal, and then
Reptile
wait,
kidnapped? No,
it's not
I thought Liu
Reptile.
Kang beat Reptile.
And then after he does, and
After?
then yeah, because in the first movie,
No, he killed Reptile.
Sonya gets taken into the portal, kidnapped, and they're like,
Portal?
oh shit, we gotta go save her. So they go into the portal into Outworld where
Portal.
where Liu Kang fights Reptile. And that's and then they go into the
Oh.
tower.
You're right.
And Sonya's got the outfit. She's all dressed up, like Shang Tsung dressed her up
Yes.
for Doom, and she's
She
all
looked
sexy.
hot.
And even Johnny's like, nice outfit.
Nice outfit. He's just shut up.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they even did her hair. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
It worked though.
That was
I liked
That
it.
was Outworld though, right?
I was like, yeah. So that was Outworld.
So is that where Liu Kang beat Shao Tsung?
Yeah.
Shang Tsung? In Outworld. Mm-hmm. So we can pretty much assume that that's the same throne room. Doesn't that make sense? Because it was the big Mortal Kombat symbol thing on the ground,
Yeah,
where the spikes came
that
out
makes
of.
sense.
And that's what.
But it looks
different.
different,
Yeah.
smaller.
You're right. It is
The first
smaller.
one was huge. There was
Every-
an upstairs lounge area.
Every-
You remember?
a balcony. Everything in this
A
movie
balcony.
seems smaller somehow. No, Raiden, stop. We'll give you a good
pissed
review.
him
I
off,
promise.
man. Damn it.
Okay, so I'm trying to get to the end of this film, but I don't remember how it works.
Okay, so where are we?
So Liu Kang goes to the Outworld and saves Katana by beating
Baraka.
Barakas.
Throw him into the fire.
That's right. And there were 3 Barakas.
There was
Well,
the
there was
Baraka.
okay. You
and then
explained it. Yeah, you explained this.
Baraka is part of the Tarkatan clan, along with Melina. They have the mouth.
She knows this. Yeah.
Um,
That's right.
they-
Because Melina and Baraka are related.
they're in the same clan, the Tarkatans.
Wow.
Shit.
That was right there.
Damn. Wow. So they are a clan, and they have these crazy mouths. And Melina and Baraka are pretty much the like main guys, you know, the top. And then they have a bunch of other little Barakas.
Little Baraka children running around and chomping on things.
And there's one of the other guys.
So would you assume that Barakas do their little like arm blades? Do you think they start off as little tiny blades that stick out, and as they get, you know, they hit puberty, then they all of a sudden growth spurt, they come way out, and maybe you're like little Baraka in class, and then all of a sudden your things shoot out, and you're like, Is that?
We might need to consult Wolverine for that one.
Wolverine. He is. Well, that's
would
different
know.
though, because he's not born with that stuff. They put that stuff in him as an adult.
True.
But we're assuming that little Barakas are born with the little arm things that stick out, right?
Unless you go to that other Mortal Kombat theory that we watched,
There was that's
fan theory.
You're right.
where he did that to himself a deranged doctor.
We're mad that version of Mortal Kombat was never made.
It was a cool one, even though it was different, and
but we're keeping our fingers crossed that there's a new one in development. So we hope we do it. We hope they do it right.
Yeah.
Hope they do it right. Let's fast forward to the end of this film. So Liu Kang gets Katana back, and then they all somehow all end up in the same place like 15 minutes before all the realms merge forever and ever. And there's a bunch of fighting. Jax fights a horseman.
Motaro.
Which is Sindel and Katana fight, mother-daughter fight. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, mother-daughter. Sonya fights
Ermac.
Is it Ermac? Who turns into...
But it's an Ermac that's got Noob Saibot abilities.
Yeah,
If that means nothing to people that know Mortal Kombat, that literally means nothing.
I'm gonna assume...
Wow,
we're gonna die. This house is gonna fall down. I'm gonna assume that if somebody clicked on this video, they wanted to know a little bit about Mortal Kombat to hear our thoughts on how bad this movie was. Sorry, it was Rain? Or it was...
Ermac.
Did Ermac spawn Noob Saibot, or was that Smoke?
I think that he just spawned something. I am saying Noob Saibot because...
Just a black ninja?
Yeah, a black ninja, because Noob Saibot is a black ninja, and in the game, he's got the ability to another one of himself, which helps him.
That's true. In the game,
him.
To save...
It's a special move.
To save resources or whatever, they just had characters that they just changed the color palette on. So Noob Saibot was the black version of Ermac, who was the red version of Scorpion, who was the red version
But they all have very thorough stories, and Ermac is a ninja who
but visually,
he collects souls. You know, you are one, we are
identical.
Many. Yeah, they do. Ermac is red, Reptile is green, Scorpion is yellow, Sub-Zero is blue, Rain is purple.
So that leaves Liu Kang to be fighting Shao Kahn.
He prepared, you know,
literally, they're all getting their asses kicked. Just...
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Just asses kicked. Like, there's no way that this is going to end well until Sonya calls for Jax's help.
They're all getting fucked up, and Sonya's got a thing about her.
Right.
She asks for no help of nobody ever.
She can do it by herself.
Ever.
So when she does call for Jax's help,
it's a special...
what does Jax do?
He beats Motaro.
He does not help Sonya.
He goes afterwards.
No, he didn't help her at all.
Afterwards.
Did he?
Yeah, after he beats Motaro, that's when he was like, oh shit, and he beat him up and he punched him in his Motaro balls we were talking.
Yes.
He beat him.
So we had an interesting
And then he jumps in and gets Sonya.
Motaro is a centaur, is basically what he is. So we watched...
I got everything I need right here.
I mean, I'm going to have to kind of show the scene, but... So Motaro sits on 4 legs and he stands up and he's got arms. So he reared up and then Jax punches him, guy's kind of in the flanks of a man, but this is a horse, so it would be where the legs are. So we have to ask the question of, where are Motaro's balls? Are they in the first set of legs, or like a man, or in the back set of legs like a horse?
And we will never know.
We will never know. But that's where
We've
Jax
pondered.
punched him, and I guess he got sad after that, and Jax punched the
Beat
crap
him
out
up.
of him.
Beat him-
Beat him up.
What
and-
happened to his body? Did it deteriorate or did it disappear into?
Oh, after the end?
Like, no, when Jax beat him, did he? I don't
know.
remember.
I think it just laid there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then Jax goes and helps Sonya. Oh, this was after Jax this is after Jax had to rip his arms off, because that's his weakness, not his strength.
Those arms are not your strength, they're your weakness.
Yeah, well, thanks for the tip.
Thank you,
'Cause-
Raiden.
Don't underestimate the
Power of
pow-
the human spirit.
The power of the human spirit, and
Raiden.
believe in yourself.
Thunder
That's
God.
the best thing. Believe in yourself. That's
As hard as you
that's
can.
how you defeat evil.
Basically,
except
fake it till you make it, Raiden.
Unless you're Raiden, and then you can believe all you want, and you will lose and die.
But then you come back as a fucking elder god,
Yeah, you get to win.
so you could just do whatever
Oh,
the
this
hell you
movie. So, in the very, very end, Liu Kang is told by Shao Kahn that he will fail, and that's when Liu Kang gets his superpower, and he turns into what?
He does his animality.
And
Animality.
He turns into what?
To a dragon?
Sorta.
A dragon.
Turns into a.
I don't know if it's supposed to be
Godzilla dragon or something
yeah,
like that.
that's a very good description of
So
it.
once he does that, then Shao Kahn's like,
Turns
watch
into an
this.
even bigger dragon with 3 heads. Snakes.
That's 6 heads
snakes.
or something. He had a lot of heads. A lot of heads.
Which is that doesn't exist in the game.
No.
And if it does, please correct me.
We've never seen Shao Kahn's animality. I don't think there is one. So
No, don't
They
think
just made
so.
that crap up.
Wait,
Anyway.
it could have been completely avoided. They could have just done more with the punching and kicking and the
yeah,
hayas.
you were saying there was
Would have been
there
great.
was 6 different ways to make that
But they
scene way
fucking
better.
did that, and it
Had-
was just like
Had to have the animalities. And then, so they're fighting on top of the tower, and somehow they both fall off, and they fall onto something, and they immediately in 3 frames flash back into
So
their
just
humans.
them. So
Yep.
just them.
Yep.
Like not clothes tore off.
No, and somehow
They're just them.
Liu Kang is feeling pretty good, and
Shao
Shao
Kahn's
Kahn
like,
is like,
"I'm bleeding."
Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, wah. And that's when
Pretty
Shinnok
much.
is like, you are disgusting me, or you're
What an asshole dad.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
come on, Dad, I'm trying
First,
my
he turned his
hardest.
siblings.
Come on.
He was trying his hardest.
Oh shit! And then we find out that
Shinnok is a
Shinnok
dysfunctional parent.
Shinnok's not a good dad, but Shao Kahn is his son, but also Raiden is his son. So Shao Kahn and Raiden are brothers, and I forget if that was true in the video game lineage.
Yeah,
That you checked? Mm-hmm. It is.
according to that source.
Okay, so
That really-
apparently yes.
To that really quick source.
Apparently, yeah. Shao Kahn and Raiden are brothers.
And also Fuji.
Fuji.
No, the wind guy that I was telling you
You're
about.
really confusing the plot because that's not have
Fungi.
nothing to do with
Okay,
either.
let's just forget about that guy.
Forget about that. Yes, so Raiden's dead now, but Shinnok says, "You disappoint me."
Shinnok's gonna step in and like kill everybody.
Oh, that's right. That's what screwed up the whole plan of his. So Shinnok's like, "I'll do it myself," and he was just going to kill all of the remaining humans.
He was gonna just. Zzz.
Yeah, and allow the realms to merge, and then everything would be great.
But before that could happen,
Deus Ex Machina,
Justice.
Elder Gods.
they come forth and they put
Yeah.
their fucking foot down.
Deus Ex.
They're like,
Elder
listen
Gods.
here, bud.
No, no,
We've
no.
had enough of you.
Meanwhile, these motherfuckers have just been sitting back and watching, just like
This
yep,
whole time. Couldn't they have done something?
Ooh, God, that must have hurt. Ooh, ouch. Ah.
They
God.
really show their
Yeah.
ass at the end there.
Ooh. Oh no, Johnny Cage died.
Maybe we
sucks.
should step in now.
No. Friends is on. We'll get to it. Hold on. We'll see how they play out. It's fine. So yes, at the very last second, when Shinnok's about to just
Obliterate.
zap everybody into nothingness, then the Elder Gods come down
Like,
and they're
stop
like,
it.
yeah, they're like, no.
He does.
No.
He goes, drops to his knees, and that's it.
How does he die?
They fold him.
That's right. They Superman to him. They put him in some like weird thing.
He folds into thin air.
In the worst special
He
effect
folds into
ever.
thin air.
Yeah.
I thought I'd say those words.
Well, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And that's it. Then they resurrect Raiden into one of their own. So he is now an Elder God.
They're like, hey, we banished that guy.
But I think that actually follows the plot lines of some of the games, because he does become an Elder God, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, okay,
Yeah.
not bad.
See?
So they had
Raiden, hear
they
us
had
out
a lot
there.
of source material that they had to cram all together.
They kind of did. I mean, at the very end, they like snaked it in. You're like, okay, there's a connection.
Is Sindel really Katana's mother? Mm-hmm. Okay.
She is, and she really was good. But she was under Shao Kahn's spell, and that's when she became bad.
Oh.
But she gets saved and not, and I'm not really sure where she stands currently.
So at the very, very end of the movie, all like 6 characters all like do this arm in arm, and they all
then
walk
they
away.
win, and they're like,
Dun,
la,
dun,
la,
dun,
la.
dun, 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 dun. And then what happens?
Which no one even does.
What happens? Is there like a little teaser at the end
And
that says there might be more?
Ching, the dragon, and Mortal Kombat. Nope.
Oh yeah, so yeah, they even knew when they were making this film, no more sequels.
But when that
We're
happened,
done.
Sindel got back to her rejuvenated,
That's right.
youthful
Sindel looked beautiful.
self. She was no longer evil.
How did that happen, by the way?
The Shao Kahn is dead. The spell is broken.
Oh, that's right, because she was under a spell by Shao Kahn. Whatever.
In the games, you will see Shao Kahn sitting on his throne with several women slaves all at his feet.
Oh,
Yeah, they're just crawling, literally crawling at his feet.
Let's finish up this review. Nanda, I have to ask you, question number 5 that I ask people is, does this film work? This movie had an idea of what it wanted to be. It wanted, first of all, it's a sequel, and it's an action film, and it's a martial arts film, and it's a fantasy film, and it's a video game film. So, does it work as any of those things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which ones?
As a video game film,
Mm-hmm.
and as a fantasy film.
Okay. I'm willing to give you...
As a fan of it, it met
So you were...
some thread of a...
Are you saying you were not disappointed when you saw this as a fan?
No, because of my love for Mortal Kombat.
Great.
So that's why I am biased.
I respect that answer, because this film was made for a very small set of people.
And although we know of these things, and we still love it. I felt obligated to be loyal to it. Even though I was disappointed.
So you are
I
disappointed.
was a little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's
lots of things.
There's a lot here that could have been better. Much better.
They didn't spend much time with Melina.
Sure.
They
Didn't even mention her name.
no.
So
she barely had a.
I'll agree with you on one
Weird
front,
time.
that it is a passable video game movie, because they went 100% accurate to not just the way the characters looked, but how they acted, how the storyline kind of goes in the video game. So yeah, as far
With
as
their
that goes,
budget and everything, you gotta say it worked.
as far as that goes, that works. Now, as an action film, no. As a martial arts film, no.
No.
As a film, no. So, just
As just a film, no.
yeah, because films are made a certain way. They have plot points that you're supposed to follow. They have acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. This, not really. I mean, it just
They were just like, Here are all the
Yes,
acts.
this is. I have a bag of marbles here. They're all there. There, all the marbles out in front
And you're
of you.
like, ah.
Yeah, it's like, no, too many marbles. I don't know. I fell down. So yeah, as a video game adaptation movie, okay. But everything else, not so much. Last question that I have for you, Nanda, is how many drinks would you recommend somebody have watching this film to enjoy it?
Several.
Okay. Well,
I have several.
that's
several
a
drinks.
that's a nondescript answer, but I'm gonna press you for an actual number.
Several. Okay. I have about 4. How about 4 drinks? Good ones.
Okay, 4 beers.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let me think about just a person who has no
person.
affiliation. Ooh, it would be more than 4.
It would
Yeah.
be more than 4.
They would be like, the fuck is this? They would be out the door.
Yeah.
Ah.
You can say 4 if you like. 4 is fine. 4 is okay. It's wrong, but 4 is fine. That's your opinion.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I have to say 4 before you press play, and then 4 as you're watching the movie. So a total of 8 by the time the credits roll. And here's why. You can enjoy this movie on some levels. You have to get rid of everything in your mind of what a good film is and start looking for the silliness in the film.
Maybe if you ate mushrooms.
Maybe. I recommend this movie only if you watch it with 3 of your good friends and you all know each
Good
other
company.
pretty well. Good company.
Good company is great.
And you better have enough beer because it's not enjoyable just to watch it if you're trying to watch a film. Nanda, I want to thank you so very much for finally. We tried to do this for a month, by the way. This was some doing because she's very, very busy.
And also, we've been talking about doing this for years.
That's a good point. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was always on my radar for a film to do because it's bad. It's a bad film. And Nanda has been a fan of Mortal Kombat for years and years and years. And
I'm
years,
an advocate.
since you're a kid. So
Yeah.
this is the perfect film for her to do this review with me.
So grateful that I could.
And
Yeah.
we wanted to do this so much that we did a very special photo shoot
Yes.
that you are now seeing a few of the results behind us. You wanted very badly to be Melina.
Melina is my spirit animal.
I think you did a pretty damn fine job.
I did.
And is that because you have a big jaw full of teeth that you just chew men up with? Is that what it is?
No,
that's not it?
no,
Okay.
no.
But is there a reason why you've chosen Melina as your spirit animal?
Well, I chose her as a child.
Oh,
I had her and Katana to pick from when I first played the game.
nice. Okay.
And I was like, you know what? This is a deadly game. I'm going to
So-
choose the girl wearing pink.
Ah,
Chose her. I've always been an advocate for the women players of the games.
I see.
And the
It's so
size.
male-driven,
And
yeah.
because of these.
Yes.
Because I love these weapons.
Do you train with those?
Yes. No.
As far as you know, she does. So don't fuck with her.
Don't fuck with me.
Well, I do, again, want to thank you so much for being here and
Thank you.
doing this.
Very
And,
much.
So this has been the 23rd episode of Models and Movies. Thank you so
Yay.
very much for watching. Do me a
23.
favor and show this to somebody, you know? Let other people know that we do this because this is fun.
It is. I had
I want to do more of
blast.
these. It'd be great if
I have other movie ideas.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
You'll come back? All right.
Have you ever heard of Street Fighter?
Yes, I have.
Have you seen the movie?
Yes, I have. It's awful.
It's a good
We
one.
might have to do that one. All right. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time. Models and Movies. Bye.
Bye.
Excellent.
Yeah, Street Fighter.
Oh,
Remember
shit.